Technical SEO is all about improving the technical aspects of your website to make sure it's fast, secure, mobile-friendly, and easily accessible by search engines. Plus, a technologically solid website not only boosts visibility in search engines, but also creates a great user experience for your website visitors. In this video, I'll walk you through the essentials of technical SEO, covering topics like speed, mobile friendliness, structured data, and security. This is an overview of the basics, but if you wanted to go into detail in many of the topics, I've linked additional related tutorials in the description below. The first thing I want to talk about is site speed optimization. Improving your site speed directly impacts your search engine rankings. Google explicitly states that page speed is a factor they take into consideration for their algorithm, which means that if you have a slow website, it can very well likely negatively impact your search engine rankings. Faster load speeds can also make for a better user experience, which search engines also value. So here are some checklist items to make sure we can get your website loading quickly. First of all, you want to get on a good quality host. A high quality host is really important for page speed. High quality hosts offer faster servers, optimized resources, and reliable data centers, all of which make for quickly loading websites. My favorite web host is Cloudways for many reasons, but one of the big ones is they really focus on performance and speed. If you're interested in giving them a shot, I have a link in the description below, which will give you a promo code that gives you an additional discount that works with the free trial they already offer. The next thing on the checklist is going to be to enable caching. If you don't know what caching is, caching makes your website load faster by temporarily storing parts of your website in locations that are closer to the user. If you want to learn more in detail about how caching works, I have a video about that and it's linked in the description below. You also want to make sure you are optimizing your images. Sometimes I see DIY websites with huge images. And of course, if it's a large image, it's going to take a long time to download. You want to make sure the images on your website are as small a file size as possible without sacrificing quality. And I do have a video showing you how to do this as well, also linked in the description below. And finally, you're going to want to test your page speed. Now, I could give you a million little things on this list to check for speed, but you really only need to care about the stuff that your site is lacking. The best way to figure that out is to check the Google Page Speed Insights tool and then fix the things it tells you you need to fix. So let me show you how to use that tool. Okay, to get here, you want to go to pagespeed.web.dev. I've also linked it below to make it easy for you. And then you just have to put your web page URL right here and then click Analyze. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a website that I have not optimized for speed yet. So we're going to see it tell me that there's performance issues, and we're going to get some good examples of what it might show you for a website that needs to be fixed, and also how it gives the suggestions to fix those recommendations. So give this a little bit to do what it needs to do. And then when it's done, you're going to see something like this, and you're going to notice that you can choose between mobile and desktop to see that you're going to usually have different performance grades depending on the device being used. In general, you want to fix the mobile stuff first. And then when you scroll down, you're going to see more details about why you got that score. And then if you keep scrolling down, you'll get to this diagnostics area. And then when you're here, you can click this little down arrow and it will give you more information about why it gave that diagnostic. And then it will give you tips how to fix it. Speaking of different devices, mobile responsiveness is another key factor in SEO and a ranking signal in Google's algorithm. Google uses mobile first indexing, which means it first looks at the mobile version of your website when ranking pages. If your website isn't mobile friendly, it may rank lower than other websites, even on desktop. Plus, over 50% of the internet is browsed using mobile devices now. So it's not just that it's an important SEO ranking factor, but it's also an important factor in making sure that your target audience can browse your website fully and have an easier time becoming a customer. If you're using Elementor to build your website, I created a tutorial showing you how to make an Elementor website mobile responsive, which is linked in the description below. Next, you're going to want to submit your sitemap to Google Search Console. Submitting your sitemap to Google is important so it can accurately discover and index the pages on your website. Your sitemap acts as a roadmap guiding Google's crawlers to all the important pages on your website. So how do you find your sitemap? Well, if you are using an SEO plugin, it probably includes a sitemap in it. I'm using Yoast SEO, and here is the sitemap with that. If you're not using an SEO plugin, WordPress also creates a sitemap by default. And to find it, you're going to want to go to your domain /wp-sitemap.xml. After you get to your sitemap, you're going to want to go ahead and copy that URL and then head to Google Search Console, which is at search.google.com. If you don't already have an account, create one. And if you haven't already added your website to your Google Search Console, you're going to want to do that. And after that's done, you're going to want to click Sitemaps on the left-hand menu, paste in the URL here, and then click Submit. And after that's done, it should show a dialog box like this. Now let's talk about structured data markup. Structured data markup is special codes that help the search engines better understand the content of a website, which is always a great thing for SEO, but also when you add these codes to your website, it's more likely for your website to get featured in featured snippets, which will also bring more traffic to your site. You can find these codes at schema.org. Next, let's talk about security. If your website isn't secure and free of malware, Google isn't going to think you're trustworthy. If Google doesn't think you're trustworthy, they are going to lower your site on the rankings and possibly de-index your website altogether to make sure it is protecting users. That is clearly really bad, as it makes it almost impossible for users to find your website organically. So you really want to make sure your website is safe and secure. So here are our checklist items to make sure you are all good there. First, you want to install an SSL certificate. An SSL certificate encrypts the data being sent between your browser and the web server. And it is a Google ranking factor, so if you don't have one, you may find yourself falling in the search engine results. Almost every web host includes an SSL certificate for free, so check with your web host to see how to get that installed on your website. You also want to regularly scan for malware. It's important to regularly scan your website for malware and then fix any issues that may come up. This isn't just for SEO. If your website is infected with malware, you can risk losing the content on your website and losing the trust from your customers. You should be able to do this through your host as well. And the last thing you're going to want to do is run a website audit. Running a site audit is a great technical SEO strategy because that way you can make sure that you aren't missing any ways that you can improve your website to boost your search engine rankings. SEMrush is my favorite SEO software, and they have a free site audit tool that will give your website an overall grade for site health, information about your crawled pages, a detailed report of all issues and errors they find, and recommendations of how to fix them. I have a link to this in my description below, and all you have to do is click the Try It Free button right here, create a free account, and then you'll be able to put in your website URL and learn all about your technical aspects of your website. And that's it. Now you have a technical SEO audit checklist to increase your website speed, boost performance, and get you ranked higher in the search results. If I was helpful to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment below. If you're building your own website, make sure to check the description to grab your free 9-step roadmap to DIY your first website, and it will show you everything you need to do to get your site live from start to finish. Thank you so much for watching.